My name is Amber Collins, and I never thought my grandparents' death would spark a war. At their funeral in Round Rock, Texas, my parents stood there smug, whispering their plans to seize their $31.5 million fortune. You don't deserve a cent, Dad hissed, his eyes cold. Get out of our house. Now. Mom just smirked. We've earned this. I didn't fight back. I walked to my car, my heart pounding, and pulled out my phone. My fingers steady, I opened a secret app my grandparents had trusted me with, one they'd always kept hidden. I typed a single command, delete. It unleashed something they would never see coming. 30 minutes later, their phones lit up with panicked messages. Messages they wished they'd never sent. They thought they'd won, but I'll show them how high the price really is. But before we get to my story, I want to know what time you're listening and from what city. I'm happy to know how far my story spreads. Hours after I hit delete, I sat in the Austin office of Leonard Brooks, my grandparents' lawyer. His desk was stacked with legal binders under the hum of fluorescent lights. My parents and brother slouched across from me, their faces tight with smug certainty. Dad adjusted his tie, muttering about market deals, while Mom scrolled through her phone, her lips pursed. My brother's eyes flicked to his smartwatch, tracking some crypto alert. Leonard cleared his throat, his voice steady. As the executor of Frank and Ruth Collins's estate, I'm reading their will as written. He slid a thick document forward, the pages crisp against the polished wood. My parents leaned in, expectant, as he read the legal jargon about assets and trusts. Then he paused, his glasses glinting. The entire estate, valued at approximately $31.5 million, is bequeathed to Amber Collins. The room froze. My breath caught a sharp sting in my chest. Dad's jaw clenched, his voice low. There's a mistake. That fortune's ours. Family property. Mom's phone clattered to the table. She manipulated them, she spat, her eyes narrowing at me. My brother stood, his fists balled. What did you do to them? His accusation burned worse than the Texas heat outside. I shook my head, my voice small. I didn't know. Leonard raised a hand, silencing them, and turned his laptop toward us. A video flickered on. A grainy image of Grandpa Frank and Grandma Ruth on their farmhouse porch, their faces tired but firm. If you're seeing this, Grandpa began. Our choice shocked you. Grandma's voice, soft yet still, continued. We've watched you plan for our money, not our memory. Amber was the only one who cared for us, not what we could give. My throat tightened as their words sank in. Dad scoffed, but his hands shook. Mom's face paled, her usual poise crumbling. My brother stared at the floor, muttering under his breath. Leonard closed the laptop with a click. They anticipated your reaction, he said, his voice flat. There's more, but we'll address it later. As we left the office, my phone buzzed again. More panic texts from Dad. The delete I'd triggered had sent emails to their business contacts, exposing all the lies they'd spun to seize the estate. Clients were already calling, questioning their deals. Mom grabbed my arm in the parking lot, her nails digging in. You'll regret this, Amber, she hissed. We control everything. Your home, your future. Dad loomed behind her. Fix this or you're done. I pulled free, my heart racing, their threats echoing as I climbed into my car. My brother lingered by their SUV, watching me with an unreadable look before turning away. I gripped the steering wheel, my palms sweaty, knowing I couldn't stay in their house another night. By dusk, I was driving toward my grandparents' farmhouse in Round Rock. My hands shook on the wheel, the memory of Mom's nails still stinging. I stepped out, my boots crunching on the gravel, and the front door swung open. Miguel Gonzalez, their housekeeper for 20 years, stood there, his weathered face softening. Miss Amber, he said, his voice low. You're home. Miguel led me to Grandpa Frank's study, its oak desk cluttered with trucking ledgers. Your grandmother left something for you, he said, handing me a small brass key. It fit a locked drawer, revealing a dusty journal bound in faded blue cloth, Grandma Ruth's handwriting inside. I sank into the leather chair, the pages trembling in my hands. An entry from 3 years ago read, Kenneth asked for another loan today, $50,000 for his latest venture. When Frank hesitated, he mentioned Justin's college costs. We paid, but I doubt we'll see it back. My stomach twisted. I flipped forward. Another entry. Deborah brought appraisers to the house, eyeing our silverware for her gala. She thought I didn't notice her photographing Grandpa's antiques. Page after page detailed their greed. Hundreds of thousands borrowed, never repaid. Items quietly taken. They were stealing for years, I whispered. The doorbell chimed sharp in the quiet. Miguel returned with Jordan Patel, my grandparents' IT consultant for their trucking company. His laptop bag swung heavy. "Miss Collins," Jordan said, "this is serious. Frank gave me access to their secure files. Your delete command triggered something." He opened his laptop, pulling up audio recordings. Dad's voice, low and threatening, demanding Grandma sign over property last year. Mom's laugh followed, cold. "When they're gone, we're set." I gripped the journal, my knuckles white. Jordan clicked another file. A hacked call from my brother, scheming to funnel company funds. "They planned this," I said, my voice hollow. Miguel nodded. "Ruth kept records for you to find." Jordan added, "There's more files I can still decode." As midnight settled over the farmhouse, my phone buzzed with another angry text from Dad. It lit up the screen as I sat in Grandpa Frank's study, the round rock night quiet except for the faint hum of crickets outside. "You'll pay for this," it read, his words sharp even through the screen. I set the phone down, my jaw tight, as Miguel Gonzalez stepped in, his face grim. "They're moving fast," he said, handing me a tablet open to a local Texas forum. Posts screamed lies about my mental state, calling me unstable, unfit to inherit $31.5 million. Family sources, they claimed, but I knew Mom's venomous tone in every word. The doorbell rang, cutting the silence. Leonard Brooks, the lawyer, arrived first, his briefcase heavy with legal drafts. "We need to protect the estate now," he said, his voice clipped. Linda Baker, the maid who'd worked for my grandparents for 20 years, followed, her hands clutching a folder. "I saw your parents take silver after the funeral," she said, her eyes steady. "I kept receipts." George Simmons, Grandpa's financial advisor, joined us next, his tablet glowing with account logs. "They've tried accessing the trust funds," he warned. "I've locked everything down." Elaine Turner, Grandma's business partner at the trucking company, strode in last, her boots heavy on the oak floor. "Clients got anonymous letters," she said, tossing papers on the desk. "They're questioning our routes on I-35. Jordan Patel, the IT guy, tapped his laptop. "Those forum posts trace back to your brother's IP," he said, showing a digital trail. "And I found more recordings. Your parents pushing clients to ditch the company." My pulse quickened as I listened to a clipped audio. Mom's voice, smooth and calculated, spreading doubts about my leadership. Dad's followed, promising better management if they took over. I stood, my hand steady despite the betrayal sinking deeper. "We fight back with proof," I said. Leonard nodded, sliding protective orders across the table. "These will hold in Austin courts." Linda added, "I've got sworn statements ready." Elaine's eyes narrowed. "The drivers are loyal. They'll back you." Jordan smirked. "I can amplify what your delete started. More leaks controlled." By morning, my phone buzzed with notifications. Mom had posted a tearful video online, playing the heartbroken mother, claiming I'd betrayed the family. Comments piled up, some from neighbors I'd known since childhood, buying her act. Then a package arrived at the farmhouse gate. No return address. Inside, photos of me with my grandparents, red X's scrawled over my face. A note read, "Give it up, Amber." My breath caught, but Miguel's voice cut through. "They're desperate," he said, bagging the photos for evidence. George tapped his tablet. "2 major clients pulled out this morning. Someone's spreading lies about bankruptcy." Elaine added, "Drivers reported strangers asking about our contracts." Jordan's fingers flew over his keyboard. "I'm tracing the letters now," he said. "Give me a day." I looked at my team, their faces resolute. For the first time, I felt Grandpa's strength in me. Not just his money, but his fight. They wanted a war, and I was ready. The next afternoon, my phone rang with an unknown number. It flashed again as I stood in the Round Rock farmhouse, my pulse sharp against my throat. I ignored the call, but the intercom at the gate buzzed harshly in the afternoon heat. Dad's voice crackled through. "Amber, open this gate. We're taking what's ours." I stepped to the window, seeing their cars, Dad's sleek sedan, Mom's polished SUV, my brother's truck idling outside the wrought iron bars. I pressed the security panel, my fingers steady, activating the cameras Grandpa Frank had installed. Red lights blinked along the fence. Not today, I said into the speaker, my voice firm. Dad strode forward, briefcase in hand, his face hard. You're making a mistake, he barked. Those heirlooms belong to the family. Mom, in a tailored dress, clutched her purse. Sweetheart, don't be selfish, she cooed, but her eyes glinted cold. My brother lingered back, shifting uneasily. The gate stayed shut. Tires crunched on gravel as Leonard Brooks pulled up in his BMW, followed by Miguel Gonzalez and Linda Baker in a pickup. George Simmons and Elaine Turner arrived next, their faces set. Jordan Patel jogged from the house, laptop under his arm. Cameras are streaming live, he said, nodding at me. It's all recorded. Dad's voice rose. You're throwing away everything we built. Mom stepped forward, her voice breaking theatrically. My own daughter tearing us apart. I didn't flinch. You tore it apart yourselves, I said, catching Kenneth's glare. His name felt right now. Not Dad. Deborah's mask slipped. Her smile gone. A neighbor's car slowed nearby. Mrs. Ruth Jenkins, a longtime friend of Grandma Ruth, leaned out, phone raised. I'm posting this to the Round Rock Alert app, she called. The whole town's watching. The video went live. Austin News picked it up within minutes. Comments flooded in, neighbors, old drivers, even clients. Shocked at my family's display. Jordan tapped his screen. Found something else from the hack, he whispered, showing a clip from the funeral day. Kenneth and Deborah slipping silver candlesticks into their car, my brother checking his phone for values. My chest tightened, but I stood taller. Keep recording, I told Jordan. Elaine stepped beside me. The company's with you, Amber, she said. Drivers won't work for them. Miguel handed me a folder. More evidence for Leonard, he said, voice low. Linda nodded. I saw them take more than silver that day. George added. Their accounts are frozen now. No more moves. Kenneth pounded the gate, his face red. You'll regret this. Deborah sank to the ground, playing victim, but her eyes darted to the growing crowd. Mrs. Jenkins waved her phone. It's viral now, she said, as news vans appeared down the road. My family froze, their confidence cracking. Kenneth turned to Deborah, his voice low. We need to go. My brother glanced at me, eyes conflicted, then followed them back to their cars. As their engines faded, Leonard touched my shoulder. We've got enough for court. Leonard's words, we've got enough for court, still echoed as I sat at the long oak table in the Round Rock farmhouse dining room, the Texas sun filtering through the lace curtains. My hands rested steady, the weight of Grandpa Frank's trust grounding me. The front door creaked, and Miguel Gonzalez ushered in my family. Kenneth strode in, his suit crisp, eyes blazing with control. Deborah followed, her heels clicking, face set in practiced grief. Justin trailed behind, tugging at his collar, avoiding my gaze. Judge Elaine Carter, a stern figure from Austin Probate Court, sat at the table's head, her pen poised over a notepad. Robert Clean, Grandpa's old fishing buddy and retired police chief, stood by the window, arms crossed. Leonard Brooks slid folders across the table, his voice calm. This is a mediation, as agreed. Let's begin. I nodded, my pulse steady. Leonard clicked a remote, and the wall-mounted TV lit up with security footage from the funeral. Kenneth and Deborah slipping silver candlesticks into their car, moving in grainy clarity. Justin's voice crackled from a hacked recording from Jordan Patel's files. Once we take over, I'll siphon funds to my startup, he said, casual. Another clip played. Deborah's sharp tone demanding Grandma Ruth's sign over property last summer. Kenneth's low growl followed. Do it or we cut you off. Deborah gasped, hand to her throat. Those are lies, she cried, tears instant but unconvincing. Kenneth slammed a fist on the table. You set us up, Amber. Justin's shoulders slumped, his voice low. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I met his eyes, my voice cold. You meant every word, Justin. Leonard opened a folder, financial records spilling out. Unpaid loans totaling over $2 million funneled to Kenneth's failed ventures and Justin's startups. Elaine Carter's pen scratched as she noted each page. Robert shifted, his presence heavy. I've seen enough, he said, his voice gruff. This is theft, plain and simple. I slid a document forward, my words measured. Sign this. You walk away from all claims to the $31.5 million estate. Return what you took, and stop contacting me. Kenneth laughed, bitter. Or what? Leonard's voice cut in. Or we press charges. Elder abuse, fraud, theft. It's all here, witnessed by a judge and an ex-cop. Deborah's tears stopped, her face pale. Amber, please, she whispered, voice cracking. We're family. I leaned forward, using their names now. Kenneth, Deborah, you stopped being family when you planned this. Justin looked up, eyes pleading. I'll fix it, Amber. I swear. I shook my head. No more promises. The silence stretched, broken only by Elaine's pen. Kenneth's knuckles whitened. Then he grabbed the pen, signing with a furious scratch. Deborah followed, hands shaking. Justin hesitated, his signature slow, eyes on me. Robert bagged the signed papers, his nod firm. It's done. As they left, Leonard handed me a court filing. They've lost 2 business partners already, he said. Bankruptcy filing started this morning. Jordan texted from the study. SEC sniffing Justin's startup. Fraud flags. Their world was crumbling, just as they'd tried to crumble mine. A week later, I stood in Grandma Ruth's garden, the roses sharp with morning dew. 6 months had passed since Kenneth, Deborah, and Justin signed away their claims to the $31.5 million estate. I wasn't the same Amber who'd fled their house, phone in hand, typing delete. Now I sat at Grandpa Frank's desk, finalizing plans for the Collins Foundation. Leonard Brooks met me in Austin, his briefcase packed with trust documents. The vocational scholarships are set, he said, sliding papers across the table. Texas State Technical College agreed to partner. Full tuition for 50 students next fall. I nodded, signing each page, the pen's weight steady in my hand. Elaine Turner joined us, her voice firm. The trucking company's drivers signed on to the profit-sharing plan, she said. Morale's up. Routes on I-35 are running smoother than ever. George Simmons tapped his tablet, showing charts. The estate's secure. Growing. You're building what Frank wanted. Back at the farmhouse, Miguel Gonzalez arranged Grandpa's old ledgers on the shelf, his smile quiet. Ruth would love this, he said, gesturing to the garden where I'd planted new roses. Linda Baker brought coffee, her eyes bright. The drivers talk about you now, Amber, like you're one of them. Jordan Patel sent an email confirming the company's cybersecurity was locked tight. No more leaks. No more threats. My phone buzzed with a text from Deborah. We're struggling, Amber. Just a small loan, please. I deleted it, my fingers cold. Another came from Kenneth. You owe us. Family sticks together. I blocked his number. Justin emailed next, pitching a new startup. This one's real, he wrote. I hit delete again. No reply. Leonard filed a restraining order in Austin court. His voice was calm. Texas law's on your side. They can't contact you now. The fallout hit hard. Kenneth's business collapsed under attorney fees, forcing a bankruptcy filing. Public record in Travis County. Deborah's social invitations dried up. Austin's charity boards dropped her. Justin's startup faced an SEC probe, his investors pulling out after fraud flags surfaced. Their world unraveled. A consequence of their own greed, not my revenge. I drove to Texas State Technical College, meeting the first scholarship recipients. 5 nervous kids clutched acceptance letters, eyes wide as I explained the program, tuition, stipends, apprenticeships with the trucking company. My grandparents believed in building futures. I told them, my voice steady. One girl, hands callous from mechanic work, nodded. I'll make them proud, she said. I smiled, feeling Grandpa Frank's strength in her words. At dusk, I walked the farmhouse grounds, stopping at a new bench by the roses. A plaque read, Legacy lives through love. Frank and Ruth Collins. I opened a blank journal, not Grandma's but mine, and wrote my first entry. The words flowed, plans for more scholarships, driver bonuses, community projects. The money wasn't the legacy. Their values were. Kenneth's last call came through a blocked number. You've ruined us, he said, his voice raw. I hung up. No words needed. Deborah's emails stopped. Justin's texts vanished. The silence felt final. A boundary I'd set for good. The farmhouse lights glowed behind me, a home now truly mine.